A group of our young people in My Life My Choice have just done a project about Alice in Wonderland, and this is a behind the scenes look of how the project was done. The project started after the young members learned about the origins of Alice in Wonderland. Lewis Carroll, the man who wrote Alice in Wonderland, took inspiration for his story from institutions. At the time he was alive, many disabled people lived in these institutions. Those who were patients at these hospitals were treated for their disability. At that time, people thought disability could be cured. Some of the treatment included tea parties, but for people like Lewis Carroll, those tea parties were entertainment. The famous tea party scene in Alice in Wonderland is based on what he saw. We found this information out from Uncomfortable Oxford. The story of Alice in Wonderland is loved by a lot of people, but when the young members found out about its origins, they started to feel a little bit different. They think that these stories have created barriers for those with disabilities and those with mental illnesses. It's made people, non-disabled and disabled, think that being disabled is a bad thing. The young members want to change this, so they've gone and created their own stories and characters based on the story of Alice in Wonderland and their own personal experiences. They feel that their stories and their characters properly celebrate disability. But enough from me. Let's hear from the young people about what they've been up to.
Firstly, we watched the film, and then we had to pick ideas from that. The film was really good. I like the old stuff. I prefer the old film than to the new films.
Yeah, no, fair enough. And how did you feel disability was presented in it? Do you feel like it was in a positive way or a negative way?
I think it was in a positive way. It's like, feel like people can come out of their comfort zone. No need to shy away or anything.
Yeah, and I suppose it was nice to see them sort of showing people working together and supporting them through things. What do you remember we said about disability more widely, like in society and heritage? What do you remember us saying?
I think we said it's out there for them, but not in much detail.
Yeah, no, that's definitely right. So I suppose in society, we were thinking that if disability was presented, it was sort of in like a negative way. But you're right in thinking like it kind of wasn't really spoken about that much. And I suppose in like history and heritage, that was the same. Because like if you imagine being back at school, you didn't really learn much about like disability within history or heritage, did we?
No.
It definitely kind of, when children and stuff watch this sort of stuff, it does have a big impact on how they view people with disabilities. Like, even if you don't think it does, kind of the way, if there's a character treating someone bad, you don't then want children or people thinking, oh, that's okay because it was on TV. So therefore, we're okay to do that. And kind of how it is portrayed is very different, kind of real life and kind of how people live their lives.
So I suppose now it kind of gives us that chance to sort of do that for ourselves, I suppose, explore something that we haven't done before and we didn't get the chance to earlier in our lives. And I think that's sort of what we concluded, I suppose, that there needs to be more sort of work on that, and it needs to be very like positive, kind of like celebrating disability, because it's not really done so in like the past, I suppose. And that's why we've gone and done this piece of work. So, Adi, could you tell me a bit about the story you wrote?
My story is about me, like finding different ways to find a family, build that special bond and connection. As you can tell, my story is a bit detailed. Like I'll have to do different missions to go and find them.
I suppose at the end of the day, your story is sort of like not a coming of age thing, but like a discovering thing of yourself, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like finding yourself. And I think that's so important, isn't it?
Yeah.
And what have you learned when you've been doing your story?
Well, I learned I can actually write a story and stuff. It pushed me to the limit, really. I'm not usually that good at writing and texting, writing. I'm putting ideas down, but when I put it on pen and paper, it come to show I can do it.
Yeah, I'm really proud of like what you've done, AD. I think you've done really well. And like as you say, I don't think you've done something like this before. So it's really great
No.
to see that you're able to do it and that you're really happy like with the process you took for it. It's really great.
I think I did learn about myself quite a bit, to be honest. But yeah, I think the phone got coming through. But yeah. It is weird, isn't it? Kind of then how you look at it kind of once it's all finished when you first start, I think, a project like this. I think it went okay.
I think you've done well. Like, I completely get what you mean, because like when you very first start off the project, like you have ideas sort of floating around and then you might eventually put them down on paper. But from that to actually getting a finalized piece, like that can change quite a lot, as I think we've sort of seen, because I remember when we had the young persons group, I think with 4 of you guys, like I think Jack, AD and Brad were there as well. Like that was sort of like our very first time meeting all together, putting something down on paper to give us an idea of where we want to go. And it's great to sort of see where everyone's gone.
Kind of almost nice how we got together and then kind of went off and kind of done it individually, because I think it kind of shows more of us within that. So we're kind of able to kind of put our own kind of twists and stuff onto it and kind of add our little touch to it, which I think is good.
The young people also did a workshop at My Life, My Choices Youth Festival the other week, and we had all of the young members who came along help us create several disability pride flags of their own communities. I think they found the workshops to be a great chance to show how they're proud of who they are, why they're proud of their communities, and also a chance to show that nothing can stop them from achieving their dreams. I think we've all learned lots from taking part in this project about ourselves, each other, and about disabled people. Thank you for listening, and thank you for the Heritage Fund for funding this project. It wouldn't be possible without them.